Hutch have just dropped some massive changes for the 2023 F1 Clash season, and we're going to have a quick look and bring you what the latest position of them changes are, so stick around to get the new content and the big changes. So up first we have the new power unit mechanic that has been introduced. This replaces fuel. So obviously this is one of the major changes we've seen this season. Obviously the introduction of power unit replaces fuel management, and the new system, the bar will start your race at 70% and will recharge. So that's the key thing here. You will get a rechargeable battery throughout the Grand Prix. So similar to what you could argue ERS in the real F1 world. Now, in neutral engine mode, it will regenerate at a moderate pace, providing a steady return of that battery. At a boosting phase, so if you're pushing hard, you're going to basically destroy the battery life very quickly. And if you're on conserve, I love a bit of conserve, then your battery will absolutely recharge the fastest it can. Now, this seems very interesting for the new season. It's going to be a brand new mechanic to get used to. So this is how it looks on your game then. So we can see that faster pace that you run at, the quicker the battery goes down. Moderate in medium boost will go up steadily, and if you're conserving, it will go up a lot quicker. This is going to have a massive impact of races. So you're going to have to, you can't no longer probably push for lap after lap. I don't know, 3 laps on soft, full push. You're not going to be able to do anymore because you're going to have to watch the battery. Also the same as basically doing a fastest lap, probably gone is multiple fastest lap attempts in a row. You're going to have to be very careful where you push and where you don't. This does also link to greater racing against AI and your rivals, because it's all going to come down to who can manage the battery better. You want to be pushing and boosting when you got overtaking opportunities and conserving when not. So this is going to be a very interesting and I think a fun part to get used to in this game. No more fuel watching, but plenty of battery will be required. We then have the rework of driver stats. No more wet weather ability, no more fuel management. 2 new driver stats introduced, the first one being qualifying, and this impacts the starting position in the race, reducing the driver's qualifying lap time. So the amount of time is saved proportional to the track. So giving you an edge over the competitor, higher level, the better they're going to qualify. This basically gets rid of consistency. The second stat is race start. So this improves the driver's performance during the first lap of the race. And that is also dependent. So higher the level, the better it's going to be. And you can use it to your effect, almost like the boost start in F1 Clash 2022. But this time it will just be the set for everybody. Looking at the update, obviously we just mentioned wet weather ability is no longer available and consistency has been reworked into qualifying as well. The fuel management that we used to have on drivers is gone, and that is replaced by a race start one, which is obviously different to fuel. Looking at the stats then, obviously these are just going to be generic numbers that are in there at the minute, just giving you an example from Hutch of how they can work. And we're basically going to have to get used to the race start and the qualifying. It's what do we sacrifice? Do we sacrifice overtaking to get qualifying? It's all going to come down to who finds the best balance with their drivers. Just because we've got Lewis Hamilton, Max Verstappen, does it mean that they're going to be what we require? I think there's going to be very much different versions and variations that people are going to use on this new season. So it's all looking pretty good. It's all looking fresh and new. And by God, we're going to have a lot of learning to do. Also keen to point out that the stats have increased in terms of the best possible stats. So last year we could get max stats of 80 per stat, and that has now increased to 99. So yet more variation is possible with the increase of an extra 19 stats points. We've then got a rework of the component stats. So F1, Clash and Hutch have gone all out to give us a brand new feel in this coming season. So it's going to be very interesting to see how these do play effect. So a new power unit stat, we've all seen it, has been introduced to components, and that plays a crucial role in the recharge rate of your power unit bar. So if you want more charge, more attacking opportunities, then you want to level up your power unit stat. And that will depend on how much it recharges and power save engine modes. So higher power obviously is a faster recharge rate, slower and a slower recharge rate, but it is dependent on if you conserve, you can harvest energy more quickly. So it's going to be a very beneficial effect. So I imagine at the start of this career that we set on, it's going to pretty much empty pretty quickly, and we're going to be very, very vulnerable to the AI. Whereas in the new later parts, when we get them leveled up, we're going to be able to sustain longer durations of attack. Also, we previously had power, grip and aero, and they have been reworked into two new stats. Speed and cornering are the two new ones. So speed improves your car's acceleration and top speed on the straights, while cornering improves your turning speed. And here you can see the difference between the 2022 and the 2023 key components for your car. The one big thing to take out though was this comment by Hutch. The key comment used: speed, cornering and reliability for your car setup all improve your car's qualifying lap time. So if you want a better qualifying position, you want to upgrade your car with these stats as well as your driver's qualifying stat as well. They're going to be the key ones that look like will give us the best possible position on the grid. You'll be glad to hear a new dueling system. So if you've ever been frustrated with the gameplay overtaking, this looks set to improve as well, to make more overtaking and defending more realistic and thrilling. And it's going to be based on your car and driver stats. So success in these actions now depends on factors such as components, soft tyres provides the best chance, and your car's speed, cornering stats, and the driver's overtaking and defending stat. I'm sure we've always been frustrated that your soft tyres won't get past your hard tyre compound rivals. So how are they going to do this though? So a more dynamic gameplay experience. They've amplified the influence of engine modes. So that's your low conserve, your medium boost and your fast boosting basically. And specifically when it comes to overtaking and defending. So using the aggressive engine mode increases your chance of overtaking, while obviously conserve will decrease. Sounds obvious, but that's what we obviously want to see and want to expect from the game. Speed and cornering stats of the car will play a role as well, speed being on the straights and cornering in the turn. So at the minute, I think a lot of people would feel that speed and cornering on your car setup doesn't make a difference. So will it be that we now have to change our car setup per the track that we are racing? And remember, just because you're using an aggressive boost doesn't mean you're always going to overtake. That's why they want to leave it realistic and make it so that we're just not flying past everybody whenever we want to. Now, I know we all get frustrated when we're trying to get past our own car and they make some dodgy moves, and hopefully in this change we're going to see that improve a lot. So we obviously know that controlling which one of our drivers is doing better or making an easier route through is huge, and they've made it easier for us to manage the team orders in this change. So we can now quickly command the drivers to switch positions immediately by managing their engine mode. So if your drivers are next to each other and they use the same engine mode, they won't try to overtake each other, even if the driver behind is faster. They'll change positions only following our commands. So if a driver with a lower defending stat is in position 5 and a driver with a higher overtaking stat is in position 6, the driver behind won't attempt a duel even if they have better speed. However, if you were to switch your driver behind into the aggressive boost and you leave your driver in position 5 in neutral, then your car will immediately overtake without losing any positions. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing how this does play out. By the picture you can see aggressive P4 against medium boost P3, and P4 should just simply go around the outside without hurting P3's performance. I think that is one change that everybody is going to respect. I think knowing me, your drivers can sometimes go off the track, let cars through. I'm interested to see how this does play out and if it is going to be as good as it makes out, but I don't have any reason not to disbelieve, so I can't wait for this change to come in. Another change, and this one is our biggest sight of it yet. So we do have the boost feature where we can like our boosts and we can basically favourite them so they're ready at the top of our screens. But this is the biggest and the most insight we've ever had. So at the top you can see the Warrior boost. It had level 1, level 2 and level 3 stats. This has then been replaced with actual numbers now, so 6, 8 and 24. So this is now going to give us an indication of how many more stats it does add to your driver. So if you had a driver who had 70 overtaking and we add this warrior boost, it now makes him have 94. So you're going to see the biggest impact than ever. Before, it was kind of a guessing game. The higher the level, the better. But now we are then going to see how much more blocking and defending you get, how much more speed the driver has, and what overtaking. That's going to be very interesting and hard, probably, to work out across the whole boost range. We've also got Norris and Leclerc. Now, you'll note that Norris and Leclerc both have the same boost allocated to them. So, in F1 Clash 2023, are we now going to be able to use the same boost on both drivers, or are we still going to have to alternate? And finally, we have our racing line improvements. First of all, it said top right that we could face a bot. And we've improved the racing line certain tracks to eliminate unusual car behaviours, as seen in Yas Marina and Melbourne. So these changes will ensure a more enjoyable and immersive experience. So in this picture already, you can see the racing line that's being created. Whether or not we're obviously not going to be able to see this racing line, but in the background, underneath the layers of the track, it's going to be there. So it will be interesting to see what racing lines our cars now take. And also, the one thing to note is in the very top right-hand corner. Now, this is in Hutch's test facility, and it does mention bots. So are we now going to be able to see when we get a bot, instead of trying to work out the bot behaviours and characteristics? There is so much to look forward to in this F1 Clash 2023 season. Big power changes. We've got to manage the battery. We've got more variants with stats and drivers and cars. There's going to be a lot more variations of what we can use by the look of it as well. So boosts, can we use them on the same drivers? How powerful are they going to be? How are they going to change our drivers' performance? And we've got team orders in there as well, just to name a few. So it's going to be a very exciting season. We're going to be learning a lot all the way as well. It's going to be new for everybody here. So as soon as I get the info, I will get it back out to you. But I can't wait for the new season. It's going to be a blast, and I can't believe it's not too far away.